Let me tell you about a Friday afternoon that a lot of Q engineers know way too well. Your entire test suite just ran, green across the board. Emulators are happy, the CI pipeline is happy, and your manager is thrilled. Sign off is done, and the release is officially approved. Then comes Monday morning, and the support tickets start rolling in. Users on Samsung Galaxy devices can't complete checkout. The camera permission dialog is completely broken on OnePlus. And on one specific carrier, the app just hangs at login. But your tests passed. So what went wrong? Nothing in your code and nothing in your tests. The problem was where you ran them. Emulators and simulators are incredible tools. They're fast, they're free, they're easy to spin up, and for a lot of early development work, they're totally fine. But there's a fundamental problem that most teams discover the hard way. An emulator simulates a device. A real device is a device. And that gap between simulated and real is exactly where your most important bugs live. So let's break down exactly what emulators can't do. And trust me, this list is going to look very familiar. Number 1. Network behavior. Emulators run on your laptop's Wi-Fi. Real users are switching from Wi-Fi to cellular in an elevator or on a congested carrier network at a subway. When your app makes an API call and the network drops mid-request, does it recover gracefully? Does it retry? Does it crash? An emulator will never put that pressure on your app. A real device on a real network will. Number 2. Hardware sensors. GPS, camera, accelerometer, fingerprint scanner, Face ID. You can mock these in an emulator. But mocking is not the same as the real signal. If your app uses the camera for document scanning, or location for delivery tracking, or biometrics for authentication, you need to test that against real hardware. Because the behavior, timing, the permissions flow, they're all different on a physical device. Next, manufacturer customizations. Android is open source, which means each OEM builds and customizes its own version of the operating system. Different permission dialogues, different notification behaviors, different ways of handling background processes. An app that looks great on stock Android can still have layout issues on customized Android versions. You won't know until you test on that actual device. And number 4. Memory and battery pressure. Real devices run low on RAM. They thermal throttle under load. They kill background processes to preserve battery. So if your app has a memory leak or behaves differently when the OS reclaims resources, you will only find that bug on a real device, not in a simulator. Now, I'm not saying throw out your emulators. That would be bad advice. For unit tests, for early stage UI checks, for quickly validating a layout change, emulators are fast and they get the job done. The question isn't emulator or a real device. The question is, what are you testing and what's the risk if you get it wrong? Functional flows that touch payments, authentication, camera, location, or any hardware sensor that needs a real device. Regression across 20 OS versions before a release, run that on a physical device. Quick smoke test on a feature branch before code review. Emulator is fine. The teams that get burned are the ones who default to emulators for everything, including the tests that matter most. If your team is running mobile automation and you're not validating on real devices, you're not seeing the full story. At Kobiton, we give teams access to a real device cloud so you can run your Appium, XCUI test, and Espresso tests across hundreds of real devices without maintaining the hardware yourself. Link in the description to see how it works. And if this video saved you a Monday morning, share it with someone on your team who needs to hear it.